What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome back to episode 65 of Park to Prem here with Town or Town. We're back, folks, finally. I know it's been a little while since the last episode. Of course, I was ill. You kind of heard it last episode. It turned out I had an infection in my lower right lung, so I got some antibiotics, and I'm feeling better today, if not 100%. And well, it's episode 65, it's a big game today. We're going to be taking on Northampton Town, and it's been a while since you were last here. It is the end of January, and we've been delving into the transfer market. Of course, we had money to spend. The Smolio transfers left us with money to burn. We still have an overall balance, by the way, of £2.5 million, which is absolutely superb, especially when you consider the fact that if we look at the clauses that we have going on, of course, with the Smolio deal, we've got significant money coming in for the next 2 years. So there's plenty of money, hopefully, to not only upgrade the squad with some new signings like we've done this January, but also upgrade the facilities in the coming years. So yes, let's talk about the transfers right away, because that's where the excitement is, I feel like. And you can see here, obviously, £9.5 million made in sales. We had a few loanings out during the month of January, but nothing too significant. The significant thing was really on the ins, where you can see, if we highlight here, we've had 7 new players join us. Now, some of these were transfers already agreed. One of these is a club record transfer. All in all, though, I think they leave us in a much better position. Anyway, the first player we signed is William Porter here. Northern Irish young international, plays for the under-21s, 18 years young, has only just turned 18 as well. A good player, good determination, pretty decent technicals, I feel like. His physicals are where he really shines, particularly his pace. Can play a real variety of attacking midfielder positions. So, for me, I feel like the big gaps in his game are composure and off the ball. But given his age, I'm hoping he can improve in those areas. And we're going to have a very good player in a couple of years' time. But yes, one of those signings for the future, with no doubt. Anyway, the next player we signed, Dimitri C. It's probably Sayer. I'm going to say C because it's a nicer name. You can see here, 25 years old. We signed this guy for less than £100,000. I just felt like we needed another striking option, another attacking option, and I feel like this player offers that. It's inevitable that in the next couple of years, the likes of Mampala and Leighton Stewart, we're going to hit a level, be it next year where maybe we're still pursuing promotion, or even next year where we could potentially scrape into the Championship, where we're going to need a good goal scorer. I really like this guy. You know, he's really well-rounded in a lot of areas. There's a little bit of a lack of game, I guess, when it comes to his first touch and passing, but you can see just across the board everything else, kind of in the 12 to 13 region, which is superb. And he's had a pretty good start to his time at the club. 2 league goals already. I feel like whenever you bring in a big striker, there's always that initial worry that they might, just struggle to get off the mark, but that's not been the case for him. Anyway, the next player we have, our record transfer signed from FC Porto B. And, you might have noticed it with C. You'll certainly notice it with Hugo. We're up in the wage spending that we're going to offer players. And, Lino Hugo here, £7,000 a week. We've signed him for £300,000, though. What a signing this is. 23 years old. He's joined us on a 2.5-year deal. You can see his career started out at CD Nacional. Never really, made a massive splash for them in terms of crazy high ratings. I guess his last season actually was very good before he moved to Porto. Has had a number of loan spells, but has never really been given any opportunities there. At 23 years old, he was looking for a chance to, kickstart his career, get some regular first-team football again. He's joined us for £300,000. He's currently out with a pulled calf muscle, so you won't be seeing him today, but he's a massive upgrade in the centre-back position. You can see here, compared to Joseph Speed and Embleton, a big improvement there. Great determination, permanent signing as well, and I'm very excited by him. I feel like he justifies the price tag that we've paid in. I was almost expecting to pay a little more for him. Anyway, the next player we have, Tyler Whelan, signed from Bala Town. A punt for the future, perhaps. Noticed him just sitting around in the Welsh under-21s national team. We've signed him for £475. So, yeah, we're not exactly breaking the budget with him. Another bit of a punt for the future, perhaps. I did have to give him semi-large wages, but I'm hoping he's going to justify those. This guy, despite his lack of technicals, just across the board looks very solid. Good potential, could be a championship player in the future. And yeah, for £400, bargain. Anyway, 3 more transfers. The first of these, Ryan Grant. What a right back this guy is. He is absolutely superb. I know a lot of people have commented on the fact that defensively, maybe we've been lacking a little bit in terms of overall qualities for a true promotion push. So I've brought in Ryan Grant here. Will overtake Rush, I think, as our starting right back throughout the year. If we just give a comparison of the two of them, you can kind of see here. He's just a massive upgrade in terms of the defensive element of his game and also just how quick he is. I'm also tempted to train him to play left back. That way, if we do get injuries on the left-hand side, he could slot across and Rush could come in at right back. Either way, though, not the craziest defender going forward, but very, very good defensively, which is something we've lacked. And I feel like the price that we got him for of £130,000, a little bit of a bargain. Anyway, the next player we have, Saul. We have signed him from Fulham. He's on loan till the end of the year. If we just look at his contract here, there is an optional fee. We can buy him for £200,000 if we so wish at the end of his loan. Good little attacking midfielder position. I don't intend to rely on him too much, but I do feel like in terms of his pace, in terms of his vision, he's quite a good little attacking midfield prospect. We've got him on loan, very risk-free, good professional personality. If he shines, we'll sign him up. And well, last but not least, we have Vinko Kosic, who is finally old enough to join us, and look at these improvements. Of course, this guy, a player who we agreed to sign a number of years ago, one of the young Croatians following in Smoljo's footsteps. You can see here, has just improved so much. If we look at his overall improvement since he first joined the club, on trial, of course, initially, because he couldn't join us officially till he turned 18. Just crazy improvements across the board. He's 18, would like to, maybe get rid of that unsporting personality. Right-footed play on the right, obviously, isn't ideal with an inside forward, but you can certainly expect to see him play a role in the first team in the second half of this season. Anyway, those are the transfers. I appreciate there was quite a lot to go through there, but that's the nature of the beast. We have money to spend in January. I'm going to throw it in every which way direction. Anyway, last time you were here, we took on Charlton, so we have played a very large chunk of games here, and there's been a big sea of green. We have hit some form and actually defensively look very good. That isn't really the case, though, with the first of these games, as we took on Hull City. They started off, actually, this game with a good goal through Dugdale, who you may remember was the striker we were attempting to sign at the start of the year. Mampala then scored for us in the 34th minute from the penalty spot, and it remained 1-1 until the 93rd minute, where a bit of a weird goal, really. I think it came off the head of one of our defenders. In the end, it came to Metcalf. He tucked it in. Can't really blame the keeper. From that kind of range, 2-1 defeat. Not a great result, especially after the draw against Charlton, which was a fantastic result. I was hoping we could keep the momentum going. Anyway, in the next game, we took on Hull City, and as you can see in the EFL Trophy, we won 1-0 via CC. So continuing on in that competition, we followed that up with 2 away wins to end the month of December. We beat Southend 1-0 and followed it up with a game against AFC Wimbledon, a 3-2 win. Benny Nkololo, what a player this man has turned out to be. He's been in some really good form, and you're going to see a few of the goals and assists that he's got in this recent run of results. He's now turned 30 years old. He's now entered veteran status, but no, he's been absolutely superb for us. In terms of his overall performance, as you can see, as a centre attacking mid, he's put in a really good shift for us. And for a transfer that cost us £160,000, he's finally starting to show, why we paid that money for him. And well, speaking of that money we paid for him, check out this goal against Sunderland. What an effort on his left foot. We made £300,000 in ticket sales with this Sunderland game. It was a record attendance for the club, which is crazy stuff, really. 9,400 fans packed into the Gateshead International Stadium. We'll ignore the fact that 7,800 of them were away fans. Terrific result. Obviously, great to make a load of money off it. The only downside was the fact that he missed a penalty on his debut. He stepped up and we won a penalty and it was about to be taken by Stewart, if I recall correctly. And I was like, no, I want C to take it on his debut. This is what he's made of. And then he only went and missed it. So that was a little awkward. And Kololo sparing our blushes. However, in the next game against Colchester, we got a lot better performance from C. He got 2 goals, a 2-1 win. And we followed that up with another convincing win in the FA Cup third round, where we took on Coventry City. Yes, good result there. Mansfield Town followed. We took them on in the EFL Trophy, a 5-1 win. And then in the FA Cup fourth round, we had MK Dons, our divisional rivals, a team who we had beaten 4-2 the previous month. And in this game, Dimitri C got us off to a flyer. And then DKM with a near-post header saw us go through. And with that, we're into the FA Cup fifth round, having not taken on a championship team or above. Which, if you ask me, is pretty blooming nice. We've been pretty fortunate, I guess, when it comes to the draw. We'll talk about who we've got in just a second, because 2 more games to go through. First and foremost, a defeat against Oxford. Bitterly disappointing, this one. A great run through the month of January. We were really, starting to find our groove. 8 games won in a row. And then they did this to us. They just beat us 2-0. Their first goal scrappy, their second one a little nicer. Just no one really turning up. And most recently we took on Fleetwood, where Leighton Stewart got a goal for us. His first league goal in quite a while, actually. Going back all the way to the start of December. Tidy little finish, questionable goalkeeping. And with those results, folks, let me tell you how the league looks. Here we are. We sit in third place. We're 6 points behind Northampton. However, today's episode is the match against Northampton, so that is going to be absolutely huge for us. It's going to be interesting to see how we get on. I can't remember if I've mentioned this, but we had 2 job offers in the last month. One from Wolves in the Premier League and one from Leicester in the Championship. So finally my name is getting out there, but someone needs to explain to them. I'm a one-man club. I'm not moving on. Or I'm a one-club man, rather, not a one-man club. That wouldn't make sense. Anyway, if we look at the injury history, I think this is definitely worth talking about. In the last month, since you were last here, really, we've had a crazy amount of injuries. Obviously, it started out with the Gannon and Dazelle injuries that happened the episode before this one. We talked about them then. You can see Shuttleworth got a hamstring strain and was out for 4 weeks. Jacobs then twisted his ankle and was out for 4 weeks. McAllister has been injured for 3 weeks, and off the back of that and just been generally underwhelmed with him, I have demoted him to the under-23s. And the injuries just continued to pile up. You can see Embleton got a virus for 9 days. I can relate to that. DKM, Paul Fight, out for 10 days. Lino Hugo, the new centre-back, out for 2 to 3 weeks. We had a lot of injuries. At one point, we didn't have enough attacking midfielders to actually have, 2 on the bench, which for us is pretty unheard of. You can see, looking at things, obviously, Gannon, unfortunately, still out injured at the centre-back position and has declined quite a lot as a result of that. Still 4 to 8 weeks left of his injury. That is one of the reasons why I brought Hugo in. Gannon obviously nailed on starter for us. You can see the direct comparison here. I think his time in the first team, at least as a regular starter, it may be coming to a close. But injuries kind of just everywhere. You can see Dazelle still injured. You can see here Shuttleworth, fitness test still going on. But all in all, we've risen to the challenge. We performed very well in the last month, which I guess is all that can really be asked for. Obviously, just on a general club-looking front, the board are delighted with how we're going. Satisfied that we're only playing a little bit of attacking football. Do we not play enough attacking football for their liking? I feel like we play attacking football. We're going to have to agree to disagree on that one, Mr. Chairman. But anyway, the game against Northampton today is a big one. It's third versus second. A defeat here, they would pull ahead of us by 9 points. Now, granted, we would still have 2 games in hand on them, but that, makes things difficult. A win here, close the gap to 5 points, actually. I'm talking rubbish with the number of points, but close the gap to 5 points with a win. 2 games in hand could see us go ahead of them, although we've not got the best record in terms of winning those games in hand. Anyway, in terms of the team for today's game, this is the squad we're going to go with. Smolio in goal. Embleton and Speed are going to play at centre-back just due to the injuries we've currently got. Speed has had a good little run in the first team. Hasn't had the craziest of performances, the Manchester United loanee. But in terms of as a backup, he's not been completely catastrophic. Obviously, Grant at right-back, going to make his live com debut today. Norris at left-back. I still want to stick with Norris, and I don't know why. I feel like it's just his speed. I do feel like the left-back position is a position that will more than likely be upgraded come the summer. But for now, at least, we're going to hold firm with him. In the midfield, we're going to go with Coyle alongside Shuttleworth. I feel like I don't really talk about Coyle a great deal. I thought when he came into the team, he was going to come in as a slightly more experienced player with good leadership and really put his stamp on the team. In truth, he's never really put in a great sequence of performances. He's kind of just been a bit of a what's the word? I don't want to say a disappointment, but just a player who's not really turned up. You know, he and Needham have kind of been battling it out for the same spot. And it's almost as if neither of them want to be picked by me because, I mean, you can see looking at the average ratings, just kind of disappointing across the board. I do wonder if it might be worth changing the ball-winning midfielder role to a centre mid on defend, potentially, just to see if that yields slightly different results. Anyway, in the defensive deep line playmaker position, we're going to go with Shuttleworth. He's had good performances at centre mid, really good performances at centre mid. Why are you not on training? I don't know if this is just me. Sometimes when players get injured in Football Manager, it randomly resets their training role focus. Maybe I'm going crazy, but that's my experience. You can see it, centre mid, putting in performances, Russell. I love it. DKM on the left, Purdue on the right, and Kololo down the middle. We're going to give a debut to C today in terms of live com debut. That does mean with all of that going on, that Stewart is going to be on the bench, and Mampala, he's not even on the bench. I have been experimenting with playing C at right attacking mid and then having one of the other strikers start. But you can see in terms of performances, he's definitely had his best shifts down the middle. But there is still wiggle room there. You know, sometimes I have been dropping Purdue and then I would just play Stewart and then have Mampala on the bench. Why did I not do this before? Was there a reason that I wanted to play Purdue? Is it fitness or something? I'm not sure what the reason was. Purdue's not even been in good form. I'm going to change my mind last minute and go with this. If you're wondering, by the way, with the team selection, whilst I was ill, obviously, I played until this point at the weekend, so a good few days ago now as I record this. And I kind of, set up the team and did everything that I thought I was going to be happy with, but apparently past me disagrees with current me. Does anyone else get that? You maybe leave your team selected for the next match, save your match, your Football Manager, and then head off and then come back on and think, what the hell was I thinking? Maybe that's just me. Anyway, this is a big game. What a tackle by Speed there. We took on Charlton last episode and got a draw. We've been drawing a lot against the big teams. We need to start beating them, particularly if we want to close the gap on Northampton. Charlton, by the way, pulled away at the top of the league. They're doing their thing. Oh my gosh, would C have scored that? We may never know. Stewart, one-on-one with the keeper, goal at his mercy, tried to place it into the bottom corner, and in the end placed it wide. Anyway, C. I feel like we should click on him so we can keep an eye on him. It may be Sayer, but I just like... C is a better name. There's potential there for the nickname, I feel like. Really bringing it forward, smashes it into the side netting. That's definitely not Wayne. Is it Paul? No, Philip Rooney. That sounds like royalty almost. Anyway, what can we do here? I don't know where I'm going with that. Shuttleworth. Embleton spreads it out onto the left-hand side. Intercepted. This is not good. Giving the ball away here. Although Norris, he says no. Norris is playing for his spot in the first team. He's heard that I've mentioned I may replace him in the summer. He wants to show that he's still got stuff to offer us. Benny Nkololo to DKM, who has a go. Oh my word. That was pretty close to sneaking into the bottom corner, was it not? Keeper looked confident he knew it was going wide, but we are applying the pressure. We've got our foot on their throat. Or at least that's what I want to claim, he says, when they've had 0 shots on target. We've now had 1 shot on target. There's another highlight in their half. All the highlights being in their half means that surely it's our game for the taking. Although I say that, now Popple's through. Hits it. Smolio, unorthodox save technique, but he has made the stop there. And with that, it goes out for a corner. Embleton heads it out. Can we follow up here? Stewart to get it. Breakaway, boys. Oh my gosh. Leighton, hold up the play better, my friend. Gives away the ball. Goes back to the period between highlights. That nervy period in Football Manager where you start to question every decision that you're making. You sit there thinking, oh, my assistant said we're being overrun. Should I drop the centre attacking mid into centre mid maybe? Either way, it's 0-0 at the break. It's not been the most entertaining of games. You know what I'm going to do? Leighton's had a poor game. I'm going to play C up top. And then we're going to bring in... Oh, do I do it? Do I do it? Do I bring in Kosic? I don't know why I clicked on his role and then why I've clicked on Smolio. I clicked on the wrong Croatian. He's got 85% condition. You know what, Kosic? I'm giving you a chance here, mate. We've waited 2 years for you to be eligible to play for us. This is your debut, I think. Has he played for us before? He's not played for us before. This is his debut. He joined us 2 years ago after like a 2-year trial. What can the young Croatian do? Can he follow in Smolio's footsteps? Well, after 15 minutes, he's not had an immediate impact. Although Shuttleworth here, free kick, hits the wall. Not ideal. Have another go, friend. puts it wide to DKM, who switches it. C is there. Lays it back to Shuttleworth, who has a wand of a foot. Crosses it in. Benny and Kololo. Oh, I thought he was going to head it in. I'm resisting the urge to talk about the fact he's headed it high, high, high. It's a low-hanging fruit of a pun at this point. I've used it far too many times. Anyway, I'm going to get shouty with the players. And I think we're going to make some changes. How's Kosic done so far? He's on a 6.7. C's not had the best of games, but I'm going to stick with him. I'm going to bring in Jacobs for Benny. Jacobs has been out for a long time with an injury. You can see here, 4 weeks out since the end of last month. Still isn't really match fit as sorts, which is why he didn't start this game. But let's give him the nod today. Let's give him the chance. The banana boots, they're out in force. They're back on the pitch. They've been missed for the month of January, but here we are, and absolutely nothing is happening. I mean, what were you expecting, everyone? We've got a chance here. A goal here would be huge. I mean, for us, it'd be huge. If they score, not good. Norris, back to Embleton. Where are we going? We're going all the way back. Oh my god. What's happening? Smolio, please. Heart in mouth moment. I've been burnt too many times by, I think it was like Football Manager 2014, where there was a phase of the ball being passed back like that. Oh my gosh, Kosic, go on, my friend. Go on, my friend. Gives it to... Oh, I mean, the subs could have linked up perfectly, and Jacobs has let down Kosic. That is the only way to look at that situation. 2 minutes left, another highlight. Don't do this. Stop it, Football Manager. Bowen, I mean, it's a disaster. We've had twice as many shots as them, not as many on target. More clear-cut chances, more half chances. We've wasted them all, and then in the 92nd minute, Doug Bowerman with his 17th goal of the year. That's a lot of goals in a season. How good is this guy? I mean, yeah, he's model citizen personality. I mean, we'll add you to the shortlist, I think. He looks quite good, doesn't he? I'm saying that on the basis that he can jump and he's fast, which is all you really need in this level of football. If you can jump and fast, League One quality striker is what they say. Of course, I'm joking, because I know so what. There are people who sometimes can't figure out the sarcasm and the joke, even if it's a terrible joke, which it may well have been. You're allowed to think that. I think it was with when I announced the series, calling it Parks to Prem, and there was someone who's like, it's a bit disrespectful to call the 10th tier park football. It's a bit higher than park football. It's like, it's alliteration. It's a name. It's, you know, it's not. I'm not saying all these teams play in parks. I'm aware that they play in a stadium. Anyway, rant over. Please help me. Kosic made his debut. How was his debut? Average, but he's going to make a name in the first team. I can feel it. Have we set up his training yet? Yeah, I have. I've set him as inside forward with endurance. I feel like endurance training, as a premise, stamina and work rate, you sit there thinking, that's fantastic. That's what I need in this player. I feel like it never works. If you've had any luck getting endurance to increase stamina and work rate by more than one attribute, please let me know, because I don't think it's possible. But anyway, folks, it's good to be back. Thank you for your patience. Normal service will resume with daily uploads. I hope to see you guys again tomorrow. Good to see you again back today as well. You know, big gap in the uploads. I know that can sometimes mean people fall off with a series, but can't really be helped when you get an infection in your lungs. You've just got to rest, haven't you? Right. Next episode. Well, I realise I never said about the FA Cup 5th round, did I? Shall we have a peek? We got Norwich. Premier League Norwich. Now, Norwich in this save game is where we'll be back next episode, I imagine. It's the start of March. And if we just look at Norwich, 9th in the Premier League, they've established themselves as a pretty good Premier League club. They won the Europa League a few years ago as well, which is really impressive. Their team here, Gabriel Jesus, Dolberg, Wilson, the Pug. I mean, that's a niche reference. If you were watching my streams last summer, you know all about the Pug. We had him at Leeds United. He's very good as a playmaker. But yeah, they've got a pretty good team. So it's going to be a tricky match. It's not the Norwich of the current season. No offence, Norwich fans, but I'd be a little less scared of them than I am of this team, although Timmy Krulling goal could cause us problems. But that is when we'll be back, folks. 5th round FA Cup. I didn't think I'd be saying that. We've had an easy run so far. The real test is yet to begin. And, well, I've rambled on for long enough today. Thank you for watching, as always. I'll see you guys again soon. It's me, Jack, and I will talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.